Alrighty, today we're reading out of As Bill Sees It, the references to membership in Alcoholics Anonymous. We're starting on 34, and then Desiree's going to read 41. Not allied with any sect. While AA has restored thousands of poor Christians to their churches and has made believers out of atheists and agnostics, it has also made good AAs out of those belonging to Buddhist, Islamic, and Jewish faiths. For example, we question very much whether our Buddhist members in Japan would ever have joined this society had AA officially stamped itself with a strictly Christian movement. You can easily convince yourself of this by imagining that AA started among the Buddhists and that they were, and they then told you couldn't join them unless you became a Buddhist too. If you were a Christian alcoholic under these circumstances, you might well turn your face to the wall and die. Okay, 41, membership rules.
Around 1943 or 1944, the central office asked the groups to list their membership rules and send them in. After they arrived, we set them all down. A little reflection upon these many rules brought us to an astonishing conclusion. If all these edicts had been enforced everywhere at once, it would have been practically impossible for any alcoholic to have ever joined AA. About 9/10 of our oldest and best members could never have got by. At last, experience taught us that to take away any alcoholic's full chance for sobriety in AA was something to pronounce his death sentence, and often to condemn him to endless misery. Who dared to be judge, jury, and executioner of his own sick brother?
Alrighty, I'm going to read 6-2, and then Desiree will read 1-3-4. A different swinging door. When a drunk shows up among us and says that he doesn't like the AA principles, people, or service management, when he declares that he can do better elsewhere, we are not worried. We simply say, maybe your case really is different. Why don't you try something else? If an AA member says he doesn't like his own group, we are not disturbed. We simply say, why don't you try another one? Or start one of your own. To those who wish to secede from those who wish to secede from AA altogether, we extend a cheerful invitation to do just that. If they can do better by other means, we are glad. If after a trial they cannot do better, we know they face a choice. They either go mad or die, or they can return to AA. The decision is wholly theirs. As a matter of fact, most of them do come back. 1-3-4. Sorry.
The individual's rights. We believe there isn't a fellowship on earth which devotes more care to its individual members. Surely there is none which more jealously guards the individual's right to think, talk, and act as he wishes. No AA can compel another to do anything. Nobody can be punished or expelled. Our 12 steps to recovery are suggestions. The 12 traditions, which guarantee AA's unity, contains not a single don't. They repeatedly say we ought, but never you must. Though it is traditional that our fellowship may not coerce anyone, let us not suppose even for an instant that we are not under constraint. Indeed, we are under enormous coercion, the kind that comes in bottles. Our former tyrant, King Alcohol, always stands ready again to clutch us to him. Therefore, freedom from alcohol is the great must. that has to be achieved, else we go mad or die.
Okay. I will be reading 158 and Desiree will read 175. 158. Tolerance and patience. We found that the principles of tolerance and love had to be emphasized in actual practice. We can never say or insinuate to anyone that he must agree with our formula or be excommunicated. The atheist may stand up in an AA meeting, still denying the deity, yet reporting how vastly he has been changed in attitude and outlook. Much experience tells us that he will presently change his mind about God, but nobody tells him he must do so. In order to carry the principle of inclusiveness and tolerance still further, we make no religious requirements of anyone. All people having an alcoholic problem who wish to get rid of it and so make a happy adjustment with the circumstances of their lives become AA members by simply associating with us. Nothing but sincerity is needed. But we do not demand even this. In such an atmosphere, the orthodox, the unorthodox, and the unbeliever mix happily and usefully together. An opportunity for spiritual growth is open to all. 175.
Aspects of tolerance. All kinds of people have found their way into AA. Not too long ago, I sat talking in my office with a member who bears the title of Countess. That same night, I went to an AA meeting. It was winter, and there was a mild-looking little gent taking the coats. I said, "Who's that?" And somebody answered, "Oh, he's been around for a long time. Everybody likes him. He used to be one of Al Capone's mob." That's how universal AA is today. We have no desire to convince anyone that there is only one way by which faith can be acquired. All of us, whatever our race, creed, or color, are the children of a living creator with whom we may form a relationship upon simple and understandable terms, as soon as we are willing and honest enough to try.
Okay. I will read 186 and Desiree will read 243. Excuse me, 234. That dyslexia is kicking up again. 234. The only requirement. In Tradition 3, AA is really saying to every serious drinker, you are an AA member if you say so. You cannot declare yourself in, nobody can keep you out. You can declare yourself in, nobody can keep you out. No matter how long you've gone, no matter how grave your emotional complications, even your crimes, we don't want to keep you out. We just want to be sure that you get the same chance for sobriety as we've had. We do not wish to deny anyone his chance to recover from alcoholism. We wish to be just as inclusive as we can, never exclusive. 234.
Free prisoners. Letter to a prison group. Every AA has been, in a sense, a prisoner. Each of us has walled himself out of society. Each has known social stigma. The lot of you folks has been even more difficult. In your case, society has also built a wall around you, but there isn't any real essential difference, a fact that practically all AAs now know. Therefore, when you members come into the world of AA on the outside, you can be sure that no one will care a fig that you have done time. What you are trying to be, not what you were, is all that counts with us. Mental and emotional difficulties are sometimes very hard to take while we are trying to maintain sobriety. Yet we do see in the long run that transcendence over such problems is the real test of the AA way of living. Adversity gives us more opportunities to grow than does comfort or success.
Okay. I will read 237, and our final reading is 276, which Desiree will do. No orders issued. Neither the AA General Service Conference, its Board of Trustees, nor the humblest group committee can issue a single directive to an AA member and make it stick, let alone mete out any punishment. We've tried this lots of times, but utter failure is always the result. Groups have sometimes tried to expel members, but the banished have come back to sit in the meeting place saying, "This is life for us. You can't keep us out." Committees have instructed many in AA to stop working on a chronic backslider, only to be told, how I do my 12-step work is my business. Who are you to judge? This doesn't mean that an AA won't take good advice or suggestions from more experienced members. He simply objects to taking orders. In 276.
A higher power for atheists. I have had many experience with atheists, mostly good. Everybody in AA has the right to his own opinion. It is much better to maintain an open and tolerant society than it is to suppress any small disturbances their opinions might occasion. Actually, I don't know of anybody who went off and died of alcoholism because of some atheist's opinion on the cosmos. But I do always entreat these folks to look to a higher power, namely their own group. When they come in, most of their AA group is sober and they are drunk. Therefore, the group is a higher power. That's a good enough start, and most of them do progress from there. I know how they feel because I was once that way myself.